Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. What's going on, everybody? My name is SJ from Inner Soul Development. This is Living Your Purpose, as you can see right here, Living Your Purpose. And today we're going to be talking about a number of things, but one of the main topics today is quality relationships. We're going to be talking about quality relationships when it comes to business as well as personal, okay? So all around, the whole facet of your life, we're going to be talking about how you can maintain quality relationships and how that is important. Okay, so once again, my name is SJ. I'm from Inner Soul Development. I'm a personal life coach and transformational speaker. What I do is I help you get off your autopilot, take you off course to your greater self, okay? I find that missing piece to your puzzle that you consider a rough life, but it's a beautiful life. It's an amazing life once you realize how it works, okay? And to my right, left.
Hi, everybody. My name is Danielle K. Anderson, also known as Danielle the VP or the Executive. And I am an entrepreneur, makeup artist, also an interfaith minister, spiritual counselor, and life coach, along with many other titles. Not important right now, but it is my purpose to help you look good, feel good, find and live, walk in your purpose. So thank you all so much again for joining us today. This is episode 9, and we are so excited that we've come this far, and it's not in small part to all of you who come and join us every week. So I wanted to just, before we get started, to thank everybody for your support. If you haven't already, and even if you have, please do share this with everybody. Share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it where all the sharing is done. And we're going to get started. So as SJ said earlier, the topic this evening is quality relationships and how important it is in living your purpose. Now, when you start this journey, when you figure out what it is that you want to do in your life, for you, for others, sometimes it can get real lonely, or you can get held back by the people who are around you because they're still doing the same thing. They still want you to do the same thing, and you're trying to move forward, and it can hold you back. But the importance of relationships is vital. It's still important to have relationships, but you have to make sure that the people that you have in your circles, whether it's personal, romantic life, friendships, family, business, spiritual, you have to make sure that they are beneficial to you and you are in turn beneficial to them. I cannot stress enough. Again, sometimes life gets lonely. When you're moving in a new direction, you have to cut a lot of people off. Some people are going to pull back from you. But when you're going in the direction that you are meant to go in, the right people will come in your life, and you have to learn to recognize who they are and what purpose they serve for you. And again, what purpose it is that you will serve for them.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I had an experience where when I was first going into doing what I love to do, which is coaching, and I was studying about, how the universe works and laws and how it can create, a momentum in my life. And I wanted to start speaking about it. I had one particular good friend. I mean, we was friends for like almost 13 plus years. And it's, she tried her best in her way to try to support me. But in efforts, what she was saying was, if you think that this is what she said, if you think this magical thing that you're doing is going to help you, on to whatever you is, good luck, because you're not facing reality. What in the world is reality, okay? So in her way, she was trying to help me. Like, she was trying to, I guess, in her loving way, shake me up to, I guess, realize what I was doing was off. But because it wasn't as clear to her as it was to me, I had to love her from a distance.
Right.
Okay. And it's cool. I had to do that. I had to tell her, I love you, like cook food, but right now I have to follow what I feel is important to me, or what I feel is important to me. And I had to, allow myself to detach. It was hard. It was hard because she's my best friend. She was one of my buddies. We were really, we did a lot together, but it seemed more that she was giving me or trying to give me the advice that she, in her perspective, it was pulling me back. You know, it was giving me that negative energy that I didn't need, you know, to live in my purpose. So unfortunately, you know, we definitely parted ways. Her visa expired, but you know, I still continue to love her from afar, and I still love her. But she's doing her path, and then she'll learn as I'm still going on. Because I'm committed to it. I'm dedicated to it. So she'll see that, you know, this is not a joke. This is not something that, you know, I take lightly. So, you know, you may have that. You may have that, and you may feel lonely, as Danielle said. You may be lonely, but when you come across people with like minds, it's like that reinforces you. That's why I say it's very good to be around people of like minds.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, that's how it happens. You know, if you, especially when you tell people what it is that you're doing, and you're gonna have people say, "You changed, you're different, you don't talk to us anymore, you don't come out anymore, you don't come to the family functions, you don't come to the clubs, you don't do this or that." Yeah, because I'm on a different path. And it's not that I don't care about you guys. It's not that I don't want to spend time with you, but I have something that I need to do. I need to take care of me first. Because if I can't take care of myself, I'm no good to anybody else. And if I'm spending all of this time doing the same things that I've been doing, you know, for the last 20 years, and I'm trying to move forward, it's not going to help anybody. So you have to be careful who you call your friends. And even though you may have known somebody for a long time, and you may be, you know, I've had a friend that I call my best friend now. I have known her since I was 4 years old. Okay. So I'm not going to tell you how many years that is, but have I been, have I been friends with her, best friends with her for 20 plus years? No, I was her best friend 20 plus years ago. You know what I mean? You have to be careful about your connections. No, you cannot choose your family, but you can choose how to deal with your family. You know, I'm always about, you know, be respectful, be loving, be caring, be kind. But again, you have to take care of you first. And if that means separating yourself from the world for a time, then so be it. It's going to hurt. There's going to be some cold nights. It's going to be some lonely days. But when you are focused and you are dedicated to your dreams, your goals, your passion, and your purpose, then the people who are meant to be around you will be around you. And those people who you're used to, when the ones who are meant to be with you, they will, at least, at the very least, they will respect you for what it is that you're doing. Even if they don't agree, they don't understand, the good ones will respect you. And again, you may have to love them from afar, but I can't, again, those real people that are meant to be with you, that are meant to help you on your path, on your purpose, they're going to come along, and you're going to make sure, you're going to find that those relationships that you build are going to be the ones that are everlasting.
Amen? Absolutely. Absolutely. Even in business, you know, you might have this baby, this you know, that you're developing. And I was looking at like how Steve Harvey had an example how you know, you carry this little wagon, right? And you got to carry that wagon uphill by yourself. You know, you got the rope and you're going to carry it, but you need, like, you may have in the wagon or around the wagon, people need to help you get that wagon up that hill, you know, so you have people in your, but then when you look behind you, you may see people in that wagon sitting, chilling. Right? You know, and you're looking behind them, and you're seeing them just sitting there. Some of them are just, you know, not putting a little foot out just to help a little bit. You know, they may be crossing their legs. You know, you have to be able to detach those who are comfortable in your circle. Okay. It's going to be hard because that means you have to reevaluate who you're around in business. Okay. And get rid of those dead weight. Dead weight. Okay. Because at the end of the day, you got to carry that wagon. You got to pull that wagon uphill, because that's your desire. That's your goal. Okay. So, you know, you may see people being comfortable within your circle when it comes to business and personal, like they are just there just to see you fail. Right. Or not to help as much. They may say, "Oh, girl, I got you. I'm with you." You may even have a mastermind of people, or a mastermind, as to say, with your business, and it may be that mastermind, one of them or two of them may not be back on the same, are not as focused.
Right.
Okay. So it's really important when you have relationships, past relationships, old relationships, that you realize what they're there for. Reevaluate your situation, because your journey is your journey, and you are going to continue it. You breathe life into this body here. Okay. So that's very important.
Exactly. You know what I've said sometimes is like, look, I love you like a play cousin, but I'm on a bullet train to glory. And if you're not down for the ride, then get out the way. So you're not going to get run. You know, I'm trying to do things to better myself, to better my community, to better the world, to make a better life for my children. And if you can't understand that the time that I'm spending is for that purpose, then I love you, but get away. You know, just move aside, because if you care about me like you say you do, then you will at least support me in this. And if that means stepping back and giving me the space to do that, then so be it. So that's basically it. And it's the same is true, like I said, with family, with friends, long-time relationships, business partners, romantic partners, especially. If the person that you choose to spend your life with, your free time, give your heart and soul to, is not down for what it is that you're doing, then I mean, it's gonna hurt. It may hurt, but you have to try to at least explain to them what it is that you're trying to do. And if they're not on that path, then it may be time to let them go. And it's hard sometimes to, you know, when you're comfortable in a situation with somebody, to let them go, even though they didn't do anything. They may not have done anything wrong, but if they're not focused with you, in support of you, then there is no purpose for them in your life, or very little anyway, you know? So that is basically what I have to say about this topic. If anybody else has any comments or questions regarding quality relationships, you are more than welcome to jump in what we call the love seat. We have, and I see some really awesome comments in the chat there, and I appreciate it. We'd love to see your beautiful faces and hear your voices and see what it is that you have to say, because that's what this is about. It's not just a presentation. This is a conversation, and we want to hear your input in this.
Absolutely.
So please do feel free.
Joba.
Look, surprise, surprise.
Come on in.
Hey, Joba. Welcome to Living Your Purpose.
Thank you very much, guys and gents, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for the, invitation.
No,
always a pleasure.
Yes. So does any of y'all want to ask the question one more time?
Okay.
Just because?
No problem, brother. Basically, we're talking about quality relationships, okay? We talk about you got to have quality relationships when it comes to your personal as well as your business. Now, the personal is very important because, you may come across a person that may not quite understand your flow, okay? Your flow is actually going to live, to that journey or that life destination or that life objective, and they may try to pull you back because they're not clear. Okay, and because they're not clear, you may have to love them from afar. You may have to love them from a distance, and that hurts. Okay, because you want them part of your journey. You want them to understand, because they may be able to help themselves, but you are on your own in all aspects. So how do you deal with that?
I just see it like this. The people that know me on a personal level and that talk to me every day kind of already know this. But everybody did not, like you, SJ, or Danielle, or whatever, did not ask, or Amisha, or anybody else was like, hey, mother, I want to be born. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, that's not here or there. So people come to this earth sometimes different than others. Everybody's different. You understand what I'm saying? And it's up to you. You take the initiative if you want to tell the person, this is what's going on. This is what's up. Either you take it or you don't take it. You know what I mean? Take me as I am or you don't. You understand? And then what I mean by that is, if the person says, you know what, I'm good. I don't want to accept you the way you are. then you'd be like, you know what? Thank you very much and have a great day and keep moving on. You know what I mean? Even though it could hurt you or it could tear you apart in the inside, you know what I mean? That means that the atmosphere and the world did not want y'all together. You know what I mean? So they use that as a separation, you know, for not being there. But that does not mean that automatically down the road, as we say, down the road you might find you lost one. You understand what I'm saying? One person did not accept you for who you are or what you're thinking or what your thoughts are. But guess what? 5 other people down the road might be like, welcome. You know what I mean? Of course, I'll be more than glad to be in your life. I'll be more than glad to, you know, be part of your family in the outside or whatever the case might be. So it's like you can't give up. You always got to keep moving forward, even though you don't get the same support from the person that you think that you might get the support from.
Right.
That you want it from.
Absolutely.
Right.
We have a question in the room. I don't know if you've seen it, Danielle.
I see it.
You want to just tackle that? You want to read that or?
All right. The question is, we talked about business relationships. Have either of us had to sever ties in business relationships? And if so, how did you do it?
Well,
It's a fantastic question.
Very good question. You know, we got another person coming in. I'm going to pull you in. I'm going to answer the question and then I'm going to wait. Okay. Come back in because you popped back out. Okay. So I had that in one of my previous business ventures that I was, you know, very gung-ho about. And I realized that person was very, after a while, wasn't as focused. Okay. Wasn't as focused and wasn't as driven as when we first did it together. And so when I realized that, you mean being late and just, you know, chasing that person for different things, their emails, it was just too much. And what I did was I had to say, you know, I see something that could potentially damage this business as well as damage our relationship. Okay, you got to confront the elephant in the room. That's a lot of people just don't do. They don't confront the elephant that's right there in the room. And I tell that person, listen, you know, I don't know how, you know, maybe you have a lot of things going on in your life and that may not make it as dedicated to this project as you should. So, you know, I think that maybe it's best if, you know, we separate and you get clarity. And that way we can continue to breathe life support into this business because we cannot not neglect this venture that we're doing. So I told the person that we have to definitely reevaluate where we're going because journeys are being split here, and that we need to. Then I love the person. I love the ambition at one point, but for some reason I see it's going in a different direction. So we had to sever ties. I am very blunt with it. I'm kind, but I'm very blunt at the same time.
Right. Now, I personally haven't had that experience, but I have been involved with, let me just put it this way. There have been partnerships in business that I've had with my business and another business, and those other businesses or companies had to part ways. And I was, you know, party to it kind of firsthand. So there was I don't want to mention names or anything like that, but there was a group of 3 people who had a venture and they worked together very well. They worked in the public very well. They were very good at planning events and all of these things, but some people's schedules weren't working. They weren't all in, you know, and they were there was miscommunication, a lot of miscommunication. And eventually how it came about was the one person who was not all in just tendered her resignation and said, I'm out. You know, there was another situation where there were some really good plans being made. A business merger was trying to happen. And there were some personal issues that prevented another 3 people from getting along. So they sat down and they had a meeting and said, for the good of each of our businesses, it's best if we just end this here and now. And they had it in paper, they had it in writing. If you're in business, what's very, very important and vital is to make sure that things are on paper. When you have agreements, you got to put it down. When you have disagreements, you have to put them down so that it's settled. So that later on down the line, somebody doesn't, well, particularly if there's money involved. If you're just starting out and you're just kind of trying to find your way, that's one thing, as long as you're communicating with one another. But especially if there is money involved, you want to put things on paper so that somebody doesn't come and try to take you for, your whole life or anything. It can get very messy. So do your best to keep it legal and keep it civil. Whatever the disagreement is, or if the paths are, if you're traveling in different directions, just make sure that communication is key.
I mean, another thing that I want to add to that, and I'm sorry to jump in like that, but I think that you have to basically know the difference between your regular relationship and partnership. You know what I mean? Like if you're doing work with somebody or whatever the case might be, and you're partnering with that one person, you cannot, you know what I mean? It's like, don't try to combine it together. Like if you like them or whatever the case might be, try your best not to mix business with pleasure type thing. That's why it's a thing, because once you mix business with the original life or a regular relationship, let's say it doesn't work out on a regular relationship type of thing, but it's still working on the business. You gotta go to work every day, or you gotta see them after you've broken up with them, whatever the case might be, and that's just gonna be like confrontation. So it's like always gonna be that negativity there, and it's like one of you guys or girls gonna have to like either quit or whatever in the relationship at the thing. They're both gonna mess up. You know what I mean? So that's not always good either.
That's important. I mean, I've seen relationships happen at work, in business, or people who are in relationships, they start a business together. It's just, you have to just be careful and make sure that that there is an understanding between the two of you, that no matter what, this is priority number one. Either it's the relationship or the business or whatever, and make it work. Oh, Michael's in here.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, Michael. Good to see you.
Incredible to see you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so happy to see everybody.
Always happy to see you. Always a pleasure.
Hey, you are looking absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
So are you guys. I have apology among other things. Never did you pen in the company.
Say that again. Just I wasn't quite hearing you.
Never did you pen in the company.
Right.
Oh, right.
Absolutely.
Never did you pen in the company.
Absolutely. Never
don't dip your pen in the company ink. Yep.
That's right.
That is that's an oldie but a goodie. Yep, absolutely.
Yes. The only way I can handle things, like keep business and pleasure separate.
Right. It is a good policy to have it, because it will alleviate a lot of stress. But again, sometimes things happen, and I've seen some really awesome, amazing relationships happening from that. But you got to be careful. You have got to be careful. I'm not going to tell people what not to do, or I'm not going to tell grown folks what to do. Okay, but
you
right. Just be careful in anything.
No kidding.
Right. You gotta have. Go ahead, Michael.
You gotta have boundaries.
Exactly.
That's right. You gotta have boundaries. There's gotta be that line in the sand, right? But you with the quality relationships that in business, it's very important that you start. The only person, like it says, the only way that you could do anything right is if you do it yourself. Okay, so the only person that's going to be as driven, as motivated is you. Okay, so those people that come along the way, you want to align yourself with people that have that same passion and desire. Okay, you got to have that, because as you said, those people that's in your personal life, those family, those friends that see the change, they are not understanding it because they're not clear because of what they're going through. Okay, and they may give you advice thinking it's out of love. It may be out of love, but it's actually out of lack of understanding. Okay,
Right,
that's why
exactly.
when it comes to your relationships with your family and you're moving forward towards your living your purpose, you be definite in that. You be definite in that. But at the same time, understand that the people that give you the advice that may be off, they're not being negative. They just are doing it out of lack of understanding. But you got to continue going on, and you got to continue to love them from afar, hoping that your full change and your full transition into living your purpose, they will see it and know that this person is not lying. She's going forward. She's not, whatever you think if it's a phase or whatever the case may be, she's still going toward her purpose in life. And then they'll eventually support. But right now, it's just out of lack of understanding. I want people to understand that it's not negative. It's out of love. They're doing it genuinely because they don't know what else to say.
Right.
I could not go on with you anymore as I do right now. You are absolutely correct.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Michael and Joba, for joining us. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, by the way. If you are just recently joining us, let's allow us, please, to introduce ourselves again. My name is Danielle K. Anderson, also known as Danielle, the VP, or the executive, here on Twitter and on Periscope. I am an entrepreneur, interfaith minister, spiritual counselor, and life coach and speaker, etc., etc. And it is my purpose to help people to look good, feel good, find and walk in their own purpose. And my co-host, as always, here is SJ.
SJ from Inner Soul Development. That's right, Inner Soul Development. I'm a personal life coach and transformational speaker. What I do is I help you get off your autopilot and I take you off course to your greater self. I find that missing piece to your puzzle that you call a hectic, crazy life, but it's really not. It's amazing and wonderful once you know exactly how to make your life work and live your purpose. Okay? So that's what we do here. We make sure that you understand and we help you in your journey. That's going to be nothing but success.
Exactly.
And all those with the handle Inner Soul Development.
Right. So again, we've been talking about quality relationships in all aspects of your life. It is important that the people that you invite into your life or hold on to are people that are, I hate to use this word because it's overused, valuable to you, but that they provide for you benefit and that you also provide benefit to them. It's a two-way street. Relationships are two-way streets. You cannot just simply expect people to give and give and give and you just sit there and receive. And likewise, you can't give and give and give of yourself and receive nothing in return from that person, because then you're just being used. And I mean, if you're doing it out of love and in your heart, that's a wonderful thing, but eventually it's going to have to be more than just I love to give. Right. Because you will tire yourself out. You will drain yourself. If anybody else would like to join us in the Love Seeds, please let us know. Or if you have any questions or comments to add, let us know in the chat. Type, I'd like to come in. We are on the record. What time is it right now on the East Coast, if you would, please?
It is 6:34 p.m.
6:34. We're doing fantastic on time. There's plenty more show left if you would. You know what? While we're waiting for people to decide if they want to come in or not, let's make some announcements.
Yes.
What do you think?
I'm going
Absolutely.
to
Go,
go.
Minority Report. I see you. I see you.
I'm going to go.
Thank you, Michael.
I have another show in 4.5 hours.
Okay.
I have a block at 8 o'clock my time.
All right. Well, thanks again so much. As always, it's a joy to see you, and I hope that we see you again real soon.
Hey, join my blog at 8 p.m. PST.
Okay. Definitely.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Enjoy. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
A question I want to ask to those people who may have business. I know a lot of people that's in this room have their own business or they're entrepreneurs. And I want to, when they decided to move forward in a purpose, whether with their show or how did the people react, like family members or business partners? How did you if you needed to change, how did you deal with the change when it comes to the advice you got from your family members that they may have thought you were crazy, right? So how did you, as an entrepreneur, deal with quality relationships in business as well as in personal? I want to know that because I know a lot of people have businesses here, and I'm sure that they came across a lot of flack, and so we want to make sure that we want to know what did you guys do and how did you handle it?
I'll tell you what I did because I know my family very well. My sister and I, when we started Artistic Touch Enterprises, we talked to each other first a lot. And we had one other family member who was very supportive of us. She said that you should do this before we even said it, right? So, but we kept everything else pretty close to the vest. We didn't let anybody know until we got our articles of incorporation. We had our name, we had our logo, we had our slogan, we had a mission statement, and we had a website. And that's when we started telling people what we were doing because, and you know what's funny? Even to this day, people still don't understand what it is that we do. They forget. They be like, there's someone very close to us who's written a book and all of that, and she said, I need some cover art, I need to have a photo shoot, and we're sitting there like, do you know what we do? And she's like, no. She talks to her every single day almost. It's like, do you know what we do? And she was like, no, I don't. What is it? I'm like, what? Okay. All right. So, and that's okay because that's, again, love them to death, but our relationship is just different. We don't always share everything, and even when we do, sometimes it just kind of goes away. When I started in ministry, I didn't tell anybody except my sister.
Wow.
There are folks, most of my family doesn't know that I'm a minister right now, and it's not because I'm ashamed or they won't understand or anything like that. It's because I have in a relationships that I have in my family, because I come from a certain type of a background, they will not understand necessarily what direction I'm taking with it. And they may question. I know they're all going to question. Really? You, a minister, a counselor, a coach? Okay. Mm-hmm. Right, So, people from your past, when they know certain things about you in your past, they want to kind of keep you there. And I've tried to limit my interactions with certain people and letting them know certain things about me, even though I'm really excited and I would love for them to be involved in whatever way. It's not necessary. I don't need for everybody in the world to know who I am and what I do. And if they find out, then great.
I just want to add on to what the executive is saying right now. I think that some stuff are just best not told. You understand what I'm saying? Because one minute they could be, your family members could say, we love you and we want what's best for you, like through the mouth out, but inside and in their mind, they're like, we don't want you to be better than me. I can't stand the fact that they love you, or they're gonna, or they might love you more than they love me, or whatever the case might be. Because only God knows what the heck, you think before it comes out of your mouth. You understand what I'm saying? So they could smile in your face, they could say all this and all that, but in the inside, not actually mean it and not really want you to be successful. Those are the other. It's the total opposite. Even your family will try whatever is possible in their hands to bring your booty down, or to bring your stuff down, and to be like, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't gonna make it. You don't know what you're talking about. Like you're not gonna be successful. You always need me. And it's like you gotta sit here and prove them wrong and be like, you know what? I'm gonna show you that I can do it. Because if you don't want to grab my hand, or if you don't want to be in my life, that's fine. I'll do it without you. But when I make it up to the top, don't say, dang, I was wrong about you. Because I'll be like, I told you so.
There's somebody in the comment that I want to get this. This is tough. Miss Kuala said that she had to let go of her mother completely. It was a detrimental relationship. If you could come in the love seats and just give us the feeling of how you continue to move past
Please do.
That is something that you may come across. I mean, family is one thing, friends are one thing, but when it comes to she had to let go of her mom,
her mother,
completely. So that had to be a trial within itself. So I definitely, if you could come in a love seat, that would be great to share that story, because that is something that people can be inspired by, especially in business and personal.
Oh, hold on. How are you doing today?
Hi, welcome.
Just give me 1 second. I have to kind of set my little microphone together and get it all right.
Yeah. Can you tell us how to properly pronounce your name so we say it?
No, there will be no cookies.
Oh, babies. I was like, wait a minute.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you just fine.
Okay. It's kind of tough. It's a tough situation. I didn't hear you.
Tell us how to say your name.
It's my full name is Shaquela.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but I go by Quayla. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Okay, very good.
I think my mother and I have always had a tough relationship. It was always one of those things where I found myself always reaching to please her, always trying to do right by her. And it got to a point where I had a home daycare, and I was everything was going wonderful. And she was like, I really miss you. I want you to come back to California, because I'm in Florida. She was in California. And I want to, my grandchildren, I want to get to know them and all this. And my grandfather got sick. And when my grandfather got sick, I think I just went through this tough time, because I was like, oh my God, if my grandfather dies and I don't see him. Because I've been down in Florida for a long time by myself, basically. It's more language. Basically by myself. And when he got sick, because I had a really close relationship with all of my grandparents. So I think, honestly, I went through a moment of self-sabotage. And I didn't learn about self-sabotage until afterwards. But at the moment, I had no clue. I was, my grandfather was sick. I was here by myself. My husband's a truck driver, so he's on the road, and I'm dealing with running my 24-hour daycare, hustling really. But I was kind of overwhelmed. And, when my mother reached out to me, because our relationship was in and out, it was like, okay, we'll talk for a few months or a year or something. And then all of a sudden she gets mad and, she can't talk to me anymore. I'm a problem. And so this has been our relationship from the beginning. I'm always, for some reason, she just wants to get rid of me. So my grandfather got sick, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I ended up closing my daycare. I went to St. Louis to help my grandfather get better. And then in the process of that, I said, you know what? My mom wants me to move to California. I'm going to do it. I knew, everything in me knew, don't do it. Everything in me was screaming, don't do it. My cousin was like, Quayla, go back to Florida. Don't do it. But I had that instinct, this is my mother. I love her so much, and I just want to have this relationship with her. you know, and that's always been what I wanted. I just want this relationship with my mother. I want to be able to, you know, have something good that can hold on to with her. So I went there, and everything that I knew was going to happen happened, and it was a hot mess, and I ended up in a tough situation. I ended up coming back. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
Did that get your ears?
A little bit.
Let me get my life together. I'm so sorry. Anyhow, I ended up coming back to Florida and had to basically start over. But now, it took me a little bit to really get through it. I went through a moment of depression. I dealt with it. You know, again, I was here again in Florida by myself, but I dealt with it, and I knew it was something that I had to do because she's gonna ruin my life if I let her. You know, if I let her, I will never, you know, it might be a time where I don't get back up and I don't keep going. So I had to just stop calling her. I had to stop accepting her messages because, you know, it takes a while for her to get over being upset, you know, and then she's not realizing that, you know, some of your reasons and some of the things that you're coming up with is not really reasonable. You're being very unreasonable, and your anger is coming from a place that I don't even understand, first of all. So, you know, I just literally had to let her go and say, no more. I can't keep going down this road with her because, again, I will end up ruining myself trying to keep her happy or make her happy.
And that's tough. That has to be as tough, but at the same time courageous, okay? Because here you have a definite purpose in making sure that you keep your wellness and your health stable, you know, alive, okay?
Right.
So you don't, you know, because at the end of the day, guys, I want you to understand that you have to breathe life in you, right? You are first. You got to put yourself first. Even in business, even in personal, you have to put yourself first. And sometimes, as extreme as this is with the mother, that is a big hurdle to actually pass, to say, you know, I'm not taking no more calls. I'm not, you know, this is what I got to do for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually the example is me, my children. Me, my children. You know? Right. So did you go back to your purpose as far as your daycare? Did you continue doing what you wanted to do, or you're still kind of redefining what it is? Because this is living your purpose, right? Are you still defining that despite the odds?
Daycare was not my purpose. It was a thing that I did. I set a plan. I think when I was a teenager, like 16 or 17, I had a plan. I'm going to be a preschool teacher until I finish college. I did that, but that time ran out. In that time, I got married, I had kids, I got thrown into every little extra side piece, extra obstacle that there is. My purpose, actually, I mean, I've always felt very near and dear to music. Music has always been my thing. It's a thing that I have a passion for. It's not one of those things where, oh, that's the bandwagon, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. It's not a bandwagon thing for me. It's a literal thing that from the time that I was 3 years old, I was watching Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson on stage saying, one day I'm going to be there. You know, and it got to the point where I stopped watching music award shows because I'm like, I'm not watching another music award show until I get to that point. Yeah. Well, here I am now, you know, kids and everything, but I still decided, you know, I'm going to make every effort that I can to get to that point. And it's going to be it's going to be a hard road, but I'm making efforts, you know, to get to that point. So I have a plan that I'm working towards. I do YouTube videos, and I'm kind of intertwining like the beauty fashion world into my music type of thing. Good. So it's kind of, I have a plan here, and everybody else is like, well, I don't understand. But somehow this plan is all working towards my purpose. And I'm at another transition now, because now here's my husband, you know, getting a little bothered because I'm picking up on doing my music and my videos and things like that. And so now he's concerned about his personal time and all of this. So
Quilla, I'm sorry
I
to
think
Quilla, I'm sorry to cut you off. They're asking you, are you the only child?
no,
Oh.
no, I'm the oldest. I have a younger brother with my mom and dad, and then I have another brother. I have two younger brothers that I lived with, and then I have two sisters and another brother that I didn't really live with or grow up with. So no, I'm not the only child. I'm the oldest.
Well, I think you need to definitely, and this is where we were talking about the relationships, quality of relationships, because you said that your husband, not understanding where this all of a sudden is coming from, right?
Right.
So, Executive Danielle, the VP,
Yes.
I want you to love on her, okay? Regarding this quality of relationships when it comes to, like I said, now she wants to pick up this beautiful dream and passion, but it may be going against her home life.
Well, again, it all comes down to communication.
Mm-hmm.
If your husband loves and supports you in what it is that you're doing, then fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It is important that he does get his time, in your relationship. You have to feed your relationship so that he can in turn feed you in your dreams.
Right.
I think that, when you said it's up here, nobody else gets it.
Right.
Write it down.
Yes.
Get it out of here. Show him what you're doing. Show him the plan. Help him to understand what the plan is so that he can see more clearly and be able to give you more of your space that you need or the support that you need. And he's still his feelings are still gonna get a little bit hurt. He's gonna miss you, but it'll be easier for him. Maybe he could find another way to be there for you physically, present as well, and not feel like you're trying to leave him
right
behind somewhere.
That's right.
So that's my concern, my little piece of advice for you. I can only give so much marriage advice, but as far as communication is key in any relationship.
Right.
So, if you can find a way to make your vision more clear, then I think that there will be some major strides in that department for you.
Right.
And also connect with me because, I'm a makeup artist and we do productions. So just putting it out there.
That's good. Yeah, but definitely you got to write. Remember, you have it. As long as you have that image. Remember, we're humans. We're all we think in pictures. So as long as you get that image and that
652.
Okay, I want you to write it down. I want you to write it down to where the point where it's almost as whatever's in your head is mimicking on paper, right?
Right.
Mimic it on paper, and then when you write it down, I want you to get him involved. You see, when he's involved, as far as the process, the creative process, he feels it's more of a togetherness. We're going together in this journey. I'm here to help breathe life into this passion, this dream, because you gotta let him know how important it is that it feeds you. This feeds you. I went through daycare. I went through my mom. But this right here feeds me.
Right.
This feeds me. And so when you let him know that this is not something that is a hobby, this has been since birth, he needs to know your story. I think the disconnect is the communication. He has to know your story of what it is that you really want to do, okay? And have it written down. Let him know that I want you to join me in this, okay?
Right.
I want you to join me in this because this is something that makes me whole with you involved in as well. All this makes me whole. So have an image, get that desire. You can't make him get the desire. Don't act like this is going to be his dream because it's not. His dream is something totally different, right? His journey is totally different, but he can help support you in your dream, and you can support him in his. Okay, and have relationship goals too. Have relationship goals. I'm really good.
Remember,
this is my space. This is my lane. I love speaking and teaching about how you can be able to be more communicative. How you need to have relationship goals, and one of those relationship goals should be what you guys' passions are, and you guys support it.
Right.
You know, you gotta support it. Because let me tell you something, with the whole mother and not being there, you're definite in that. I gotta do that for my sanity. Now, be as definite with your purpose.
Right.
Be as definite with your purpose. Hit that and be defined and know what it is you want. And your gut feeling and intuition and God-given, you know, talent that you have. You can sing, or you sing?
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness.
I write, I sing, and I've been dabbling in rap.
There it is. Write it down, and see it every day, and get him involved.
Anything that you put your mind to it, you could achieve it. Anything
I
that
have
you
a
put
question.
your mind to, you could achieve it.
Right. Thank you so much for saying that. I do have one question though, because, and I know this might actually be another conversation, but you said that you speak about spiritual, and this is hard to explain without sounding crazy, but so here's the thing. I write down everything that I do. But I've gotten to a point recently where I've kind of withdrawn from writing things down, because it seems as though when I write things down and when I write certain things down and put it out into the universe, it is then captured by something else. If that makes sense.
Captured by
It does.
Let me know if that's too much. Let me know.
No.
Go ahead, captured by
I got it.
meaning
Do
what?
me a favor. Let's do this. Let's save that for after the show.
Yes.
Because we are running short on time. So what I want to do, so Quayla, Joba, thank you so much for joining us. I want to clear the seats real quick, but stick around and we'll come back to it, okay? Because we do have some announcements to make. And then we'll shut it down, and then we'll come back after the show. Okay? All right. So, man, that's a good question.
Oh, that was good. I'm ready for that.
I'm ready to
eat it up.
Now, you talking my language now, honey. Okay, so thank you guys, everyone, so much for joining us for Living Your Purpose. I hope the conversation has been helpful to you, help you to think more critically about the people that you have in your life and the type of person that you are in other people's life. We have some really exciting things planned for the upcoming week, this week and beyond. But this week, Living Your Purpose is going to have a dedicated YouTube channel so that you can view all of our past episodes and those in the future. We have a website that is going to be launched very, very soon. We are going to officially, as of next week, we are going to have a podcast. Living Your Purpose will be an official podcast. We are going to be on SoundCloud and hopefully in the near future also Apple iTunes. So look forward to that. Announcements are coming very, very soon. Follow Living Your Purpose on Twitter, and we will be posting updates there very, very soon on when the website is launching. We're going to have products to be launched. SJ and I are going to be next year soon.
Yes.
Not telling you when yet. We haven't worked out all the details, but we are going to be speaking. We're going to be available for speaking engagements. For Living Your Purpose is going to go on the road or something like that. So we're really, really excited, and we want to thank everybody for joining us on this journey, and hope that you continue to come along with us. So again, a lot of really exciting things happening this week and beyond. That being said, this is I'm so excited because you know why?
I am
too. Do you see my face?
Not because it's our show, whatever, but because this is the platform for it. This is what we need to get involved with. We need to find out what our purpose is. We need to find out why we exist. We need to find what impact we're trying to give into the world. This is what we need to do in order for us to move forward. What can make us successful? Because at the end of the day, it's about your journey. A lot of people have dropped their purpose and put it on the shelf because life has gotten them all over the place, right? But you got to understand that life is a reflection of what's inside of you, right? So we need this kind of platform, this podcast, because it helps individuals succeed. And that's, if it was me, if I had a show and I was listening to this, I would listen to it every day because I want to know more about me. I want to know about how I can grow and how I can succeed. And so that's why I'm so excited that we're going to be podcasting and things are going to be great. The universe is going to be blessing us. So I do appreciate you guys' support, and we love you immensely from the heart.
Indeed. So again, my name is Danielle K. Anderson, also known as Danielle the VP, on Blab, on Twitter, on Periscope. And I am an entrepreneur, interfaith minister, spiritual counselor, and life coach. If you just Google my name, Danielle K. Anderson, you can find me anywhere that finding is done. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. I'm freaking everywhere. Okay. So just look for me. It's not hard to get in touch with me. You can message me on Twitter, on Facebook. If you look hard enough, you can find my phone number too. So thank you all so much. And SJ, let people know where they can find you.
Yes, this is SJ from Inner Soul Development. That's right, Inner Soul Development. I'm a personal life coach and transformational speaker. What I do is I help you get off your autopilot and I take you off course to your greatest self. I find that missing piece to your puzzle that you consider a crazy and hectic life, but it's so beautiful. It's so wonderful. And you can always also catch me on Google, Inner Soul Development, InnerSoulDevelopment.com, InnerSoulDevelopment@gmail.com. I'm on Periscope. I'm on Blab. I'm everywhere here to help you and hold your hand in finding your purpose.
Fantastic. So everybody who's here now, stick around because once we go off the record, it's the After Blab, and it's usually a really, really good time.
Always.
We'll see you next week. Alrighty then. So, how'd we do? Did we do okay? We're still on. You have to be gentle with